Hello everyone, it's DuckFairy07. Today we are playing a Cascade Zoo with General Ferrous Rokiric. Okay, so before I used to play this deck with up the Beanstalk and the Fury, and both of these cards got banned. So what do we do here? Okay, so in the absence of Fury and zero mana interaction, this is a pretty slow deck for the modern standards. A lot of 3 drops, a lot of 2 drops. So this means without mana acceleration, you get to play your Rokiric on turn 3 and then play the multicolored spell on turn 4, which can be pretty slow for today's modern. So we are trying to ditch the Scion of Draco for the Delighted Halfling, because you can play just so many of monocolored spells. And yes, so we are ditching the Scion for Halfling. Try to bring in 4 powerful mana dorks that can make you play the General or the Fairy or Charles on turn 2, and then Bloodbraid or Double Spell on turn 3. So trying to make this strategy a bit more explosive, because now we don't have a Fury anymore as a zero mana interaction, which enable the deck to kind of survive until turn 4 and then start doing recouping with gaining golems from General Ferrous Rokiric, which is enormous value, of course. Okay, so that is it. No Fury, no Scion, this time trying with Halfling, and on the sideboard I have some Tron Hate, Bosageus and Obsidian Charmouse. We have some Artifact Enchantment Hate here too, Graveyard Hate, Meddling Mages, Universal Hate for the combo decks, for the Cascade decks. Okay, so that is it. Let us check the gameplay. Okay, so in this version we are back to the old school style of Zoo. Where we are trying to try to finish the game early, get the value from the General Ferrous Rokiric in the early turns, and try to finish off our opponent with burn spells like Flames, Bolt and Helix. A lot of burn spells in this list, so this is kind of like a fancy burn deck. Okay, so I forgot to replace Savai Triumph for the Ragrim before this league. The Ragrim Triumph should be Savai Triumph in my opinion, but it is okay. Like, yeah. Maybe Ragrim Triumph is fine. It provides blue mana, which plays a bit better with the Shardless Agent, but Overgrown Tomb is not the land we want to get every game because of the Triumph. So I think Savai is slightly better, but there are a lot of options. Okay, so opponent in this game was stuck on 2 mana, and even if they didn't, it would be hard game for them, because I had a lot of removal here. And what I want to do here is definitely just kill their island walkers, and then I can chop them for a long time with the golems. I have a lot of creatures here, a lot of jumpers. So that is game 1. Let us check out the game 2. Okay, so Merfolks can be tricky for this deck, and I don't really have any sideboard for it. Just Kavu can be pretty bad against them, because they have the Trickster and the Tidebinder, which just kill Kavu on the side. So that is why I just randomly added 2 Meddling Mages instead of Kavu, just because Kavu can be really bad. And yeah, this game it was a reverse situation. So on my I was actually stuck on 2 lands, similar as my opponent was in the last game. And yeah, most of my spells were 3 mana here. I wasn't able to play much, but opponents didn't really have much early pressure, so it was fine. And unfortunately they played the Tide Shaper here. Pretty good card for them. Shocking the Steam Vents, which probably tells me they maybe have Flame of Feiner or saving Flame of Feiner for something. I played the Halfling here, and opponent goes for Trickster in the upkeep, but I get my land, so finally I'm able to cast something. I go for Shardless, get the Helix, try to kill the Tide Shaper to get my land back. Opponent has Hexcatcher, but Hexcatcher means they're still sacrificing Merfolk, so I still get to kill one of their creatures, not gaining life unfortunately, but here my opponent getting the Master was really good. I'm not sure why, but my opponent didn't use the Hexcatcher this time, which means they lost the Island Walk. They would be able to attack for 2 here, put me on 1 life if they didn't lose the Island Walk. Okay, so I go for Rokiric here, then play the Meddling Mage. It doesn't really matter what I name, they have the Ether Vial. But I named the Sphylon of Sea and Sky. This is card that can get them back into the game. I probably should have named one of the Island Walkers. Okay, so I go for a Teferi here. Opponent decides to sack the Mutavault. In response, I pay 1 mana. They sack another creature. And yeah, so this is pretty bad for the opponent. I still have 2 blockers. I attack with everything. Opponent did find this Sphylon, but they have to block with a Hexcatcher. So their only hope is to draw the Island Walker, but they didn't get it, and that is the game. Okay, and the match. So that is match 1 against Merfolks. Let's check out match 2. We are going to go through the wins first, then watch the defeat in the end. Okay, so kept a hand with 3 removals. I did this because I was playing on the draw and the opponent revealed Giganta. So I was expecting them to like be the attacker in this game, and having 3 removals in a situation like this is decent. I top deck Territorial Cow here, and my opponent was playing Junt. They had Goif plus Fatal Push, play the Urza Saga, so pretty good turn for them. I had some options here, but I decided to go for double bolt the Wrenn 6. I really wanted to try to give a chance to my General Ferrous Rokiric to survive, and they can only kill it with Wrenn 6. That is why I went for a double bolt there. Opponent makes another construct, finds Haywire Might. This means they can might my binding, get their Goif back. Goif will be a lot bigger now, but now I can play the Shardless Agent, get the Golem token. Okay, so as I said, we are playing the Halfling. The point of playing Halfling is having it in the starting hand to be able to go turn 1 Halfling, turn 2 Rokiric, turn 2 Shardless Agent, turn 2 Teferi. These plays can win you games, definitely, but also sometimes it's going to be a good Cascade. It is something that I'm fine with. I want to play this version and have this option available to me, like having a turn 2 General Ferrous Rokiric is definitely play that can win you some games. And if you're doing it like if you're doing turn 2 Rokiric, turn 3 Shardless Agent, getting the Golem token, who cares if you cascade into Halfling or not? It can be pretty powerful. Also, when you're playing against counterspell, Halfling can actually be pretty strong, and I think the Murktide deck will be popular. So yeah, so it can be good against Murktide. It is a threat they have to kill. So it has definitely value in the certain meta games. Okay, so Um, let's check out game 2. Giant Saga. I feel like for this deck, if you can get rid of Vren 6 and put your Ferrous Rokiric on the field, it will be pretty easy game. Okay, so playing second again, opponent starts off with Vren 6. This is totally fine. I have Tribal Flames to remove it immediately, so I decide to go for it. Opponent plays Magus of the Moon, and yeah, unlucky for them. If it was like Blood Moon, I didn't really expect Magus. They probably played just for the Titan matchup or Tron matchup. That's why they have Magus, but yeah, Blood Moon would be pretty good here. I've only had Forest, and Magus was not very good because I had a Bolt, also a basic Forest, so even Tribal Flames can kill it. And yeah, my opponent has Goys and Bowmasters and whatever, but these spells just don't matter when you have General Ferrous Rokiric on the field. Because I can go like Shardless Agent, get 2 4/4 Golem tokens, Cascade into Helix, gain life, and yeah, just have 10 power staying back, and also Lightning Helix. Yeah, this is just pretty powerful. Opponent goes for another Bowmaster, but Bowmaster is pretty bad in this matchup, doesn't do much. I decide to go Helix end of turn, just get another token, get more life, and now I decide to go for the attacks. So I can attack with all of my golems and finish off the Tarmogoyf with Lightning Bolt. Okay, so I go first for Endurance to make my opponent gain less life. Opponent decides to kill my Shardless Agent to grow their Goyf, but I get to finish it with Bolt anyway. Unfortunately, I tapped out badly, so I was not able to Bossage you on this same turn. Accidentally tapped all the green mana. Okay, so opponent goes for another Questing Druid, tries to grow the Questing Druid on the field, and I bolt it in response. Here I have a lot of power on the field. Bowmasters are not good enough in this situation, and opponent now finds Vren to kill Rokiric, but it is too late. They have to jump again, and they're now on 0 cards and basically just no options to get out of this situation. So that is the game and the match. Okay, so let's check out match 3. Okay, mulliganed again, and mulliganed on 3 and immediately concede the game. Let's check out the game 2. So basically I mulliganed to 3 cards and still my hand was pretty bad. So yeah, the 22 I played only 22 lands in this build because I have 4 halflings. So usually this list play 23 lands when they had Fury in, but no mana dorks. I decided to cut to 22 lands because of the 4th halflings, which should be able to help in that manner. So okay, here is the Yawgmoth matchup. Unfortunately my Kavu 4/4 here, and I decide to kill the Wall of Fruits before the block phase. And yeah, I discard the Helix. Helix doesn't deal with Yawgmoth, so that's why I decided to discard it. Yeah, and this was not a good decision. I decided to discard the land. I was hoping to find another land, but I should have kept the land definitely. And okay, so here I've played my Shardless Agent, put my opponent to 8 life, and now I have a double Tribal Flames. If I didn't discard the land last turn, I will have certain lethal, but it is fine still. I play Bolt plus Flames face, put my opponent to 1 life, and I have lethal when I untap if they don't kill me in the meantime or whatever. Okay, so they just go for the Strangleroot Geist, and I go of another Flames face, and that is the game. Okay, so I expect, we just watched this. I expect Yawgmoth to be among best decks in the format right now, maybe the strongest one. And Saga also kind of popular mid-range option for the mid-range players. So I think this deck is great against Junt. They only have Vren to deal with Rokiric, so it's not that easy for them. If you can get rid of Vren, then play Rokiric in the late turns and then immediately go for to trigger him. It's very hard for them to deal with this. Okay, so basically I really wanted them to kill my Kavu to be able to play the Rokiric. And yeah, I was playing second here, and since I conceded the game 1 immediately, it was not easy game for me. But playing second, they had Grist on the field, but again I was relying on my General Ferrous Rokiric here to win me the game. I was able to go double binding, clear their blockers and kill the Grist. My opponent still 5 cards in their hand, and they're able to go both Sage on my binding, get their Yawgmoth back. But they don't have much stuff on the board, and I have another Shardless, which makes another Golem token, and I find Tribal Flames to kill Yawgmoth and have a lot of damage here attacking. My opponent immediately concedes the game. That is it. I also had a redraw with the Kavu to find another, to ditch this land from my hand, and that was enough for opponent. They concede, and that is the match. I think it's very important to have a good game against Yawgmoth and Junt. That's what I was talking about, and I think both of these matchups are fine. I think you can really surprise opponent in the Yawgmoth matchup with the amount of burn spells, couple of attacks, and also without Grist they also can kill the Rokiric, so it can get out of hand pretty quickly. Okay, so here is the example. Finally, first time I was able to go Halfling on turn 1, and it was pretty good. So I was able to go turn 2 Shardless Agent, finding third Halfling, not what I wanted here, but still it is good. So this means I have 5 mana. On turn 3 I can go like a double spell if I have like Rokiric, or even triple spell. I decided to go for a Bloodbraid Elf and attack with one of my Halflings. Just go try attack with everything, try to find more burn spells with Bloodbraid Elf. I have a Helix in hand too. Opponent continues digging, and unfortunately they block with Stitcher Supplier, putting a Wonder and Vengevine in the yard, which gives them flying, so pretty good. Okay, here again I find a binding from top of deck, but I decide to go for the Bloodbraid Elf and just attack with everything again, try to find lethal, and here I go through for 6 damage, putting my opponents to 4, which means they have to do something powerful this turn, but they don't have it, and that is the game. Okay, so let's check out the game 2. Okay, so I have endurances on the sideboard for this matchup, and basically that is it. I only want endurance, so I trimmed some of the cards. Trim like 1 Teferi, 1 Helix, 1 Halfling, and that's it. Okay, opponent has Souls of the Lost here, and it was actually pretty cool game. So I was, they had a huge Souls of the Lost. I had to take 10 here, but then tried attacking with Kavu and presenting blockers each turn. A lot of burn spells in hand. This means if I can block souls each turn, this means I can try to find lethal. Now I have to stay back with Kavu, but I have lethal next turn with bolts. So basically I just needed to bolt the Gravecrawler, block the souls and deal lethal on my turn with flames plus bolt. But opponent mills over Wonder, gives all their team flying, so that is the game for them. Let's check out game 3. Okay, so I open the starting hand with Endurance, which is pretty good. They mill 4, mill over Vengevine, pretty good. But I'm playing first this game, and I'm able to put Kavu on the field. Kavu on the attack can exile a card from the graveyard, which is pretty good in this matchup. So I go for draw this card, definitely planning to go for the Endurance immediately. They had a bunch of good stuff there like Rotting Rats, Vengevine, Otherworldly Gaze, Bloodgust, so I decide to use Endurance immediately. Opponent plays Souls of the Lost, discards the Vengevine. I'm just went to Bolt, exile the Vengevine, play the Halfling, play the land. Next turn I can go Bloodbraid the Elf, discard the land. So here I go Bloodbraid into Shardless and attacking with everything, and that is game over. Opponent can't block everything, and that is the game. Okay, so that is the match against Crabvine, and let's check out the defeat. So the defeat was against 4-color Omnath, and playing against a guy who is a specialist with a deck. Yeah, one of the best on the MTGO, playing a lot of this archetype. Okay, so I was playing a second, and yeah, the one thing I was considering when I was building this list was Geist of Saint Reft. Okay, so the Geist is pretty good against 4-color Omnath. It has hexproof, and they don't have much creatures which can block him. So it can definitely steal some games, but the meta game is still not really settled. So unfortunately my opponent has Vren 6 there, so I was not able to go for Rokiric. I was able to go Shardless, kill the Vren, and then they went Omnath, but I had Binding to take it before they play a fetch. Yeah, so on my turn now, yeah, unfortunately I needed, yeah, because of the Sacred Foundry I didn't have a white mana here, so I was not able to go Rokiric plus Kavu. If I was able to go Rokiric for Kavu, that is like a significant difference. Just having a Golem on the field and the Kavu attacking next turn, that would be huge. Huge difference. Okay, so I was able to go Kavu and Teferi there, attack my opponent for 5 damage and pass the turn with 2 golems and Kavu. Yeah, but that was the crucial difference. If I had Kavu on the field last turn with the golem attacking, this means my opponent would now be dead, basically. Yeah, they would be exactly dead with this bolt, most probably. And yeah, so the huge difference, now my opponent finds 1 ring, and with Elashnorn on the field, that is the game. Yeah, if I had a white land there to be able to double spell on that turn, I think I would be able to get the game. But this way opponent got me, and that was it. Okay, so let's check out the game 2. Okay, so I boarded in Bosageus, a Force of Figures, to take out their basically bindings. They sometimes play Fable. Yeah, so maybe the sideboarding was even too much. Maybe I don't really need the Force of Figures. Maybe Bosages were just enough. Meddling Mages are not great, but it is better than some other cards I have in my deck against them. So no really sideboard cards here for this matchup. I didn't really expect it. If I was building the deck to win this one, I would probably like include the Geists and some sideboard cards, but didn't really build a deck to play against a 4-color Omnath. Didn't expect to meet it a lot in the leagues, so yeah, that's probably why I lost. If I had a Geist in main, plus maybe some side options, better side options, I would be able to get this one. But like this, I boarded out on the draw. I boarded out one Ferrous Rokiric, boarded out a Helix and Bolt. Helix and Bolt. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should have left the Bolt in and boarded just a Helix. That would probably be better. But it didn't really matter. I tried to fight them with a Meddling Mage, because now they don't have a Fury. So basically what they have is not every list is the same, but they have Binding, they have Ending, and maybe 1 or 2 Bolts. So this means if Solitude, of course. So this means if I can name like Solitude with the first one, Binding with the second one, I can maybe lock them out of the removal. Yeah, but opponent here had they had Binding for my Kavu, Teferi, and Ring early, and I didn't have no Tier Asunder in this list to get rid of the one ring, so I need the Binding to get rid of it. And even if I can find a Binding, they can remove it with my Binding, so it's not easy to deal with it. You kind of have to have some early pressure, burn spells help, but problem here was that I had a bunch of Cascade spells in my hand and they had resolved Teferi, so a pretty hard situation for me. Opponent plays Omnath and I decide to concede, so that was it. Okay, so that is the entire league. Lost a game against 4-color Omnath. They were on the play, and the game one was yeah, they had two good hands with the Ring and the Teferi both times, and I didn't prepare my deck list and the sideboard to play against 4-color Omnath. I was hoping to meet my bad matchup is Tron, so I included 5 sideboard cards for Tron here. Didn't get it. Force of Figures, I was expecting maybe Hammer Time Scales, didn't get that too. So Meddling Mage is decent against combo decks, but obviously there are a lot of options. I think Endurance is the best option for Graveyard Hate. I think that is definite, but all of these other cards like Charmau, I think Bossage is actually good for post-board games against Blood Moon. Force of Figure also pretty good, maybe 2 is enough. And maybe, I'm not sure about Land Hate. Charmau is definitely among my favorite ones, but it's good against Tron, but it's not that it's decent against Amulet. But there are better cards maybe for other matchups, so depending on the meta, those can be changed too. Meddling Mages I like because it deals with variety of matchups, but also Unmoored Ego is option, it does a similar thing, especially now since there are Delighted Halflings in the list, can be played earlier. Okay, so Meddling Mage can deal with a lot of weird combo decks that are being played at the moment on MTGO. That's why I like it. Also triggers the general, and it's overall a decent sideboard card that can be used in a variety of matchups. Okay, so that is it for today. Definitely a lot of options on the sideboard. The sideboard is not definite, and it can be changed depending on your metagame. Okay, so that is it. Hope you like the gameplay, hope you like the video. I think a halfling could help this archetype post-ban. Without furies, no zero mana interaction, so I'm afraid that playing turn 3 Rokiric, turn 4 whatever could be too slow for this meta, and I think halfling can help. Unfortunately, if you're fitting halfling, we are losing Scion of Draco, and as I said, I definitely considered like 4th Rokiric. Also considered playing Geist of Saint-Reft. Geist of Saint-Reft would be great if I had it in this matchup against 4-color Omnath. But Teferi is among better cards inclusions right now, because you can play it turn 2 with halfling. That is incredibly strong play against a lot of decks, and I expect really Cascade decks to be super popular in the coming months. So that's why I wanted Teferi, also like additional removal that can remove blockers, and yeah. Overall, very good card that also triggers General Rokiric, and that is it. Okay, so thank you for watching, and again, and goodbye. That is it for today.